Stu Kennedy is lightning quick. He kind of reminds me of Mick Fanning, but the young Jack Robinson, you know, this guy, he surfs Haleiwa all the time. You know, at a young age, he's got this surf spot wired, and that's kind of half the battle out here.
Well, this is another one of those heats where you just look at it on paper and you got 4 incredible surfers, all with different skill sets. What a great way to start our day with these 4 guys. You've got veterans, you've got the passionate one, David DuCarmo, and I'm really looking forward to watching Jack Robinson. He's an incredible surfer in the air, in the tube. I'd love to see what he can do out here on these big open-faced walls. This is Stu Kennedy. Stu Kennedy, another one of these guys, just a consummate warrior. The dude is a QS threat in any event he surfs.
I love the way Stu Kennedy surfs. You know, he's got a ton of speed and flow. Again, has that kind of textbook foundation of a Adam Melling or a Mick Fanning. Very lightning quick. Physically, he always looks 100%. I never see this guy kind of going through the motions as if he's got aches and pains. He's always switched on. So a very healthy unit, and it shows in his surfing. He just kind of tweaks around all those whippy carves. And a nice start here for Stu. A couple of nice snaps, cutbacks, carves, but you can see that he's just warming up, and you know, it's the day's early.
Right now, Stu Kennedy, he was right there. He's got a 7 for his first wave, so big carves, powerful surfing, the speed, power, flow. That's how Stu Kennedy got that opening wave. Here's our first look at Jack Robinson. Love the style on this kid. Nice opening carve, back into the whitewater. Just gets grabbed a little bit, slowed down, but finishes with one more snap. So that's kind of just a scene setter, I would say, for Jack Robinson. And here goes Stu Kennedy. This will be his second scoring wave, his backup. One big turn to start it off. Stu Kennedy, of course, known as, you know, a competitor on the level of, say, like an Adam Melling, a Fanning, that just, he knows exactly what he needs on any given wave. He's definitely a calculated surfer, a great style, you know, another one of these guys where he could easily fit on tour.
Oh yeah, he's got a big future. His fundamentals are as solid as it gets. And DeCarmo gets stuck outside, and here goes Yates.
Yaden Nickel, you see a little stalling takeoff as he goes into a deep bottom turn, nice opening snap. Whoa, finishes with a second floater. His front foot slips up a little bit. Manages to hang on. It's a good start. Opening turn was nice.
Yeah, Yaden, similar. There's some parallels with a Dusty Payne. He's been hindered by a lot of injuries. He's one of those guys, or you wouldn't blink an eye if you said he's in the top 5 in the world. He's got that much talent. So, you know, frustrating kind of career so far for Yaden, even though he's got definitely shiny spots in his career. You know, he would like to get to the championship tour, as we see a nice finishing little snap there for Stu Kennedy. And I like his flow right now in the heat in terms of he's just catching a lot of waves, staying busy. He's not getting trapped outside. We saw that wave that Yaden caught. David DeCarmo was actually first in line, and he just got stuck on the outside. So I like the fact that Stu Kennedy's not really getting suckered in, waiting for those big old set waves. He's just catching a lot of waves, and he's not overthinking it. As Jack leans into a smooth wrap, he's going to get a little more frisky with this snap right there, but just got a little more slide on that carve than he anticipated, so he didn't really hit on the button with that second turn. Nice snap there from Yaden. Right there, awkward little back knee slip there, kind of torqued it out, but I think he's okay. So again, you know, this heat, Stu Kennedy kind of has the early control. We saw, I think it was Ryan Callanan sitting at 18,200. He's in 10th place, so he's the last guy in. He's that fence line. So for someone like Stu, I know he's only a few spots out of it, but he's got some work left.
All right, here goes David DeCarmo just getting into this one on his backhand. Opens it up a little speed float, trying to get around a big section, does not. So DeCarmo utilizing priority on what looked like a pretty decent looking wave on the takeoff. Fortunately for him, ran away from him. Ross, you surf Haleiwa all the time. How do you pick the right waves out here? You really have to forecast what that wave's going to do before you even get to your feet. And so there's a certain look that Haleiwa will give you. They'll give you information whether to go or not. And that one really stretched to the channel right away. That wave kind of walled up towards the toilet bowl. So he should have known before he stood up that that was going to be kind of a closeout. But unfortunately for David DeCarmo, he's not from Hawaii. Maybe he hasn't surfed Haleiwa a whole lot, and he didn't really read that info in time. As you can see, plain as day, the waves are so fun looking, and so far, these guys are making full use of each and every set that's come through. This is Stu Kennedy, the young Australian QS warrior, snapping it off the top on his opening turn. Another good vertical snap. Got caught up a little bit, but surfed right through it. seamless transitions from turn to turn and still going. The inside toilet bowl, sometimes the gift that keeps on giving. Stu Kennedy basically showing the judges speed, power, flow. Sounds cliche at this point, but that's exactly what you need to do to get those big scores.
Well, I'm loving it. You know, from Stu Kennedy, he just looks very comfortable out here. Again, he's not overthinking it with catching the big set waves. He keeps taking off in these medium-sized waves, but the main focus is here. Look how this wave peeled across the reef for him. It did not close out through the toilet bowl. It provided 4 sections. And I must say, this little, I think it's a Daniel Thompson Tomo Firewire. That board is looking really crispy. You can see he was just speed to burn there. It was almost as if he did not want to kick out. Nice snap right there. That opening snap was really crisp. Just tagged that thing, he kind of gained speed out of that little hack. So a nice way to open a wave. You know, maneuvers are contagious. If you open a wave, Chris, with a positive maneuver, it kind of just bleeds into the rest of the wave and they just psych out. It's a great analogy. You know, it's not as pretty, which is cool. You know, it's just a feisty battle.
All right, here we go. Speaking of feisty, Yaden Nickel. A lot of fight in this guy. Opening, nice, snapping carve. Straight up the lip. Ooh, man, goes down.
Check that tail pad. That's the second time his back foot has slipped off. And we know how prone Yaden is to injury, but he looks fine. It's always a good sign, Chris, when someone just grabs their board right away and starts paddling. You hate it when you see someone kind of lumber back onto their board. That's when they're, you know, they've maybe injured themselves. So Yaden, he's got some strong legs under him. He's fine, but again, watch his back foot. As he gets into this snap, you can see he's going to float down the line. This wave is fast. Watch, see that back foot. He got a little air as he kind of launched off the roof there from that floater. That back foot became kind of detached from that tail pad. So that's the second time. Might want to grab a chunk of wax and wax that thing up.
Yaden Nickel, his last wave was a 2.83, kind of on the strength of that opening turn. Enough to get him into second place, not by much. Jack Robinson now needs a 4.01. He's just sitting on a 3.83 and a .10.
And he went and saw Dr. Leland Dow. I spoke with the doctor. He told me basically they super glued it, taped him up, and guys, by the looks of it, it's not hindering him at all.
Yeah, these guys are tough. Just by putting your entry into the Hawaiian Pro, you got to have a will of steel. And so far, all of our surfers showing just that. We don't have death-defying waves just yet, but definitely a lot of ways to get smashed over here on the North Shore, even when it's just a couple feet overhead.
And if you're a pro surfer and you're trying to compete, you'd much rather have cuts than sprains and tears. Yeah. That's when you start cringing, and that's when these guys can't surf the way they want to. But with a cut, you know, these guys are pretty tough. They can tape it up and get on with life. David DeCarmo here, not firing in all cylinders. This wave, a little high tide right now at Haleiwa, so you can see the extra bump kind of full looking out there. So, you know, that wave was not super user-friendly. Just some nice little snaps there, but because that wave was so full with that high tide, Chris, it didn't really give David that extra oomph he needed to kind of finish that wave off. So he's not going to really be happy with that.
So David DeCarmo may have done just enough on that last wave. He needs a 6.6 to jump in the second spot, but he definitely made his job a little bit easier. And here he goes. Got an inside gem. David DeCarmo on his back end. High line. Again, just a little too deep. The wave just ran away from him. Jack Robinson in white sits out the back with priority. Here goes Yaden Nickel trying to get rid of a 2.83. And he's out. Didn't like the looks of that wave. Didn't want to go for the floater, thankfully.
This set's kind of straight, but this one has better shape to it.
This is Jack Robinson with priority. Nice bottom turn, straight up in the lip. Little layback snap with style. Goes vertical, doing just the right amount through every turn. But can't hold on, but gets back up. Okay, I like that. I like that.
Effort.
He didn't, you know, he sold that one a little bit to the judges. And smart surfing from Jack Robinson. He only needed a 4.01. So I like the looks of the first two turns he did right there. So smart surfing from the young Jack Robinson.
Okay, so now we're down to under 2 minutes. You can see the urgency with Yaden Nickel. He is scrambling around the lineup. And Yaden's really left the door open because he only has that 5-pointer. And this first turn right here, nice layback jam from Jack. That is old school. And that's kind of his whole thing. You know, this guy surfs. He doesn't surf like your typical 17-year-old. You know, he has a nice traditional foundation to him. You know, this board looks like at least a step up. In my eyes, maybe just 1 or 2 inches longer than I'd like to see. But, you know, for that turn right there, the board was nice. Big old extended layback carve. But you can see because he's riding just a little bit of a long board, he didn't have that little zip out of those turns, and that's what it's going to hold the score back just a little bit. But, you know, second place is wide open. So this is going to be a stressful 50 seconds here for Yaden.
And there you have it. Wow. Heartbreaker for Yaden Nickel as Jack Robinson gets the score he needs, a 7.37 with 30 seconds to spare. So the newest Vans team rider just squeaking through at the end of that heat.